Where there was a breaking story earlier on today. The High Court has quashed the August 8th election victory of Homa Bay Governor Cyprian Awiti. Judge Joseph Karanja, sitting in Homa Bay on Tuesday, found the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC did not conduct a free and fair election. The case had been filed by Awiti's challenger and independent candidate Oyugi Magwanga. Magwanga, who cited massive irregularities in the poll in the petition, provided enough evidence, according to Justice Karanja. The court ordered IEBC to conduct a repeat election that meets the threshold set in the Constitution and election laws. Awiti becomes the second governor to lose his seat after Wajia's Ahmed Mohamed Abdi Muhammad, whose election was nullified following a successful petition on January the 12th.
On the result, as noted herein above, do not necessarily relate to numbers as figures alone if the process is flawed or worthless. Sometimes it is difficult to ascertain the winner on account of errors in tallying and in the transposition of the result. This was found by the Court of Appeal in Oyugi versus Obado case. Evidence, be it affidavit or oral evidence, is a key factor in any trial, and for it to be to have cogent value, it must meet the demands of proof. Herein, this court is satisfied that the petitioner's evidence have met the demands of proof by establishing to the required standard not only that the irregularities in the statutory forms were substantial, but also that they affected or had an effect on the result in a substantial manner, such that what was declared by the first and second respondent as a result may not have actually been the correct result. Through the evidence of PW 13 as corroborated by that of PW 3, 4, 5, and 6, the petitioners proved that the primary Form 37A used to declare the results at the polling station not only contained significant discrepancies, but also lacked consistency and uniformity. It cannot be emphasized that a polling station where Form 37A is generated is the heart of the electoral, so that anything going wrong there would invariably impact on the credibility of the election and the results arising therefrom. In both the minor PI case and presidential petition number 1 of 2017, it was stated and affirmed that the counting of the votes as elaborately set out in the Act and the regulation with its often transparent and participatory character, using the ballot as the primary material, the count that there is closed with a finality, not to be exposed to any risk of variation or subversion. Here, in this case, we have been told that the results declared at the polling stations were different from those declared at the constituent tallying centers and at the county tallying centers. This is a fact which the respondents could not disprove, considering the high level of irregularities in the generation of Form 37A all the way to Form 37B and 37C. Failure to stamp a primary statutory form is a serious infraction, and so is a failure to countersign an alteration of figure or figures in the form. In Gunn versus Sharp, a 1974 English decision, it was shown that the mistake was not stamping one or two ballot papers, thereby did affect the result, that the mistake was not stamping those forms, and that did affect the result. And in James Ombigo Magara versus Manson Nyamweya, the Court of Appeal, the High Court Appeal number 8 of 2010, it was held by the Court of Appeal that when a document is not signed by its author, it means that the author does not own it. It follows, therefore, that Form 37A with no presiding officer signature are worthless, and their results should be excluded from the final tally. In the same vein, the absence of counter-signatures against alterations, especially where such alterations relate to the votes garnered by the candidates, the results of the election on these forms are unverifiable. It was also credibly shown by the petitioner that some of the Form 37A were blank, while others had no security features, no serial numbers. That some ballot boxes were open or broken, and most did not have the official IEBC seals colored green, blue, or red, with the latest IEBC inscribed on them. All these factors created serious doubt on whether the final result declared by the first and second respondent in favor of the third, fourth respondents was a true reflection of the will of the people of Homa Bay, more so considering that the entire process of counting, tallying, and declaring the result was seriously flawed. The irregularities occasioned by the first and second respondents in the past gubernatorial elections were of substantial degree and magnitude, which would lead to a reasonable man to conclude that the election was not free and fair.